Greetings, mi amigos, and it is looking like we have a very interesting astrological event this week, so I thought I would enjoy sharing a few observations with all of the people that I interact with here in Cyber Universe. So, first thing we're going to look at, and actually it's the central and primary thing that is occurring this week, is a full moon that is happening at about 5:45 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and that would be Eastern time, so you can adjust it to your location and do the celebration that you feel might be appropriate to mark this rite of passage. But this is an interesting full moon because it does seem to have the potential to be kind of like Superstorm Sandy. It is going to be a very powerful confluence of opposing and angling forces. So let's take a look at it. To begin with, when we have a full moon, it means the moon and the sun are opposing each other. So the moon is going to be reflecting 100% of the sun's energy. So, in that regard, you can, in your mind's eye, create this vision of the solar generator, the sun, at the center of the universe, and we, on planet Earth, are in the midst of this magical adventure. And on the opposite side of us, we have the moon, which is reflecting all of this energy back down to the earth. And this basically, like any oppositional force, means that you have two primary elements that are struggling to rectify what might be perceived as a schism between the two. And of course, the moon is reflective of the inner journey, our subconscious, our dream world, and the sun is our outer journey, our ego, our physical life force, the way we initiate all of our activity here on planet Earth. So, the two most powerful forces affecting us on the planet are having kind of a temper fit and trying to resolve the differences that they have between each other. Now, as we continue to look at the other planetary forces that are also participating in this grand drama, we get to the point where we discover that the bigger picture shows a lot more than just this primary oppositional activity going on in the heavens. And the first thing that we should really look at is the sun's reinforcement. The sun has gathered all of its ferociousness in conjunction with the planets of Mars, Venus, and Uranus. And this is a very powerful combination of forces. So Venus would normally, in this journey, be more likely to have empathy for the moon, but somehow the sun has convinced Venus to come over on its side of the adventure. So we have the sun and Venus, which is pulling from the moon, and Mars, which is stimulating even more of the life force energy from the sun, and Uranus, all standing strong in Aries in opposition to the moon in Libra. Now, Uranus is an interesting planet because it's very serendipitous. It will always bring change through unexpected outcomes and unexpected elements and events. So imagine yourself standing at a gas station on a 114-degree day and filling your tank and realizing that the air around you is surrounded or is filled, impregnated, as it were, with the volatile fumes of the gasoline that you're pumping into your car. And if you were to be less than a conscious person and decide that you wanted to light a cigarette at that moment, that could induce a very volatile reaction, taking out the gas station, your car, and you. So we have this highly concentrated volatile element in association with the Sun and Venus and Mars, getting ready to dig in and respond to whatever the Moon tries to bring to the surface. So you've got a tremendous amount of stress building as these planets move forward and align into this configuration. Now, let's take a look at good old Capricorn and Pluto floating through that region of the heavens. And Pluto will be in an exact square to both the Sun and the Moon, and this we call a T-square. And Pluto is, again, a very volatile planet, but it tends to be a little less reactive than Uranus, and it does bring things up from the depths of the collective consciousness. It forces change, it forces transformation, it forces revolution. And the way it does that is very much like a volcano. It brings this molten flow up from the depths and creates new terrain. You know, if you go and spend time in Hawaii, especially on the Big Island, you can see the evidence of this as the activity of the volcanoes on the Big Island are always generating more island. They're creating a bigger presence in the ocean. So you've got an interesting square that has been formed between the Sun and Pluto, as well as between the Moon and Pluto. And whenever we look at how the stress points are going to manifest, the final depositor of all of this activity is going to be in Cancer. So if you want to really figure out how this might have a personal imprint on your chart and on your life, take a look at your chart and look where Cancer is placed in your chart. Now, if you don't have a chart, go to astro.com and you can get one, a free chart. And of course, you know, that's a handy reference for not only this dialogue, but future dialogues that we'll be having. Now, in the United States birth chart, we have kind of an interesting configuration because we have the Sun at 13 degrees of Cancer. And that actually is kind of the pivotal point for the dispensation of all of this T-square activity. So for those of us in the United States, and for the image and presence of the United States globally, this could be a major shift, a period of uprise, a period of conflict, but it is forced evolution. So we never really embrace the idea that something is fearful or negative, but we do look at it as, oh, we're in gridlock, and this is going to force some issues. This is going to cause us to struggle a little bit and hopefully attain a higher way of living. Now, in addition to all of this activity coming out and affecting your personal chart in wherever Cancer falls in that chart, but also the United States, the place where a number of us are dwelling, we're going to see the potential, the window of opportunity open up for some very powerful events. And of course, that's part of the curiosity and infatuation and magic of astrology is as we are looking at all of these elements, we're given to ponder, well, what could this possibly mean? And then after the fact, we can go back and contemplate how all of these elements came together and what the resultant result was from this interaction going on in the heavens. Jupiter likes to expand. Jupiter is all about let's make things bigger and brighter and more fun. So, in addition to all of this somewhat volatile energy that is collecting and building, we factor in the Jupiter effect, which is to expand it, to make it even more visceral, to bring it down and make it more tangible on every level of our existence. So, once again, go back to your own personal chart and look at where all of these planets are falling in your chart, and then apply that outcome, that result, to where Cancer falls in your chart, and you'll get a little bit of an idea as to how this energy will leave an imprint on your life. Now, all of us are struggling to awaken to a better way of living. We're working to resolve differences. We're trying to overcome fear. We're trying to confront all of the things in this physical realm that have been a source of tribulation and trials and struggle for over, who knows, 15, 20, 50, a half a million years, as long as human history has been around. So we're finally at a point where we can take the information, the ideas, the concepts, and use them in a loving way to make a positive transition to our own next personal step in this evolutionary journey. In addition to that, we can learn to forgive others and to accommodate others without begrudging them, without animosity, without angrily responding to them, by once again looking to the heavens and expanding our vision of who we are and how much we do influence the universe, and how our participation in this grand pageant is a major factor. In other words, if any one of us were removed from the adventure as it unfolds, we probably would see the entire process collapse, because we're all here for a reason. We're all here in conjunction with each other's journey. So, the last thought I will share with you is that starting Saturday evening, we began to feel this subtle building. So you may have noticed that this past weekend was given to some unusual events, feeling a little bit out of sorts or offline. Monday, the energy builds. And Tuesday, there's a very good chance that we'll begin to see how this is going to imprint our lives here on the planet. So, by the time the moon hits the exact moment of fullness, early in the morning on Wednesday, we'll have a general sense of where the river is flowing and whether or not we want to stay on board or retreat to that higher realm and go deeply into a meditative state and embrace the concept of love and healing and do an outpouring of that sort of thing as a part of our ritual to commemorate the passage of the planets. So, you will undoubtedly, if not be personally affected by this passage, you will see some sort of a phenomenon, a manifestation of the activity of the heavens. So it will be fun for all of us to have dialogue the day after and the day after that about how it manifested from our personal perspective, this very powerful full moon in Libra, as we're advancing forward in spring and the sign of Aries. And this is kind of a heads up. Like I said, it's not doom and gloom, but if you were living in New Jersey and didn't pay attention to the dialogue about Hurricane Sandy, you probably are still reeling from the results of that. So wisdom affords us the opportunity to prepare when the universe is going through a transitional phase. Anyway, just a few thoughts about a full moon, and if you decide that you did in fact experience some sort of a profound passage in alignment with the planets, leave some feedback on my YouTube and check me out on Facebook, and let's continue the adventure here. Let's continue the journey as I give you more insight and ruminations around the movement in the heavens. So, mi amigos, get out there, share the love, pass the love around, and I'll be chatting with you soon.